I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Love. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of love right now, singing I'm choosing love today. Compassion. I choose compassion today. I choose compassion today. I am walking the road of compassion right now, singing I choose compassion today. Joy. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of joy right now, singing I'm choosing joy today. Heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one.
Yes. Good morning. I know it's been a while, and y'all, Miss Tina is going to be taking a few months off because if you do not know yet, she is with child. Yeah, so congrats. We are glad you're here today and just blessing you over the next few months on your family's journey. So, well, good morning. Who are we? We are Ahava, and welcome. Ahava is our love. And we together every Sunday when love is. Got it. As our spiritual director, I'm Reverend Rainbow, she's her, and we welcome you here on this beautiful Sunday. We are a conscious community committed to curiosity, so that we may provide a loving space to be reminded of the truth of who we are. We're an open and affirming community, so whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual path of discovery, know that you are absolutely welcome here. After joining us online, thank you for being a part of the virtual community, and make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Oh, you're in the room. My aunt, I feel so quiet. Okay, we'll do this. How's this? Oh, hello. Good morning. All right, so I was saying good morning and welcome, and to our folks. Now, is it going up? How's this? Yes. All right. Good morning. All right. Seneca is the new mic holder. Pass this. No, let's try this one. All right. We can do this. Okay. So, yes. Mike, the mic holder. Seneca's trying to make a joke, and we're just like we weren't following. All right. So, dad jokes, right? Okay. So, if you are in the room, we also invite you to take out your phones. Feel free to take pictures, video clips, and check in on social media and all the things. Let the folks know where the love is today, yes? Y'all know I need a little bit more space here, a little more freedom. Okay. And we want to especially welcome anyone here for the first time, whether in person or online. Know that your presence here makes a difference. And if you are here for the first time, all you have to do is raise your hand, and we would love to say hello. So is there anyone here for the first time? Good morning, welcome, yes. And welcome back. First time on a Sunday, but you were here this weekend. We had a number of events this weekend, which were just fabulous. We had fun. So, one of our core council members is going to be giving you a little connection card, and would love for you to stick around after service. Join us. We have donuts today, if there's still any left, and coffee and tea. We'd love to get to know you all better. And if you take that card to the bookstore right there, we have a special gift for you as well. We are so grateful for the many hearts and hands that come together to create this amazing service. And we want to take a moment just to thank all of our volunteers. So please give it up for our volunteers, or give yourself a pat on the back. Thank you, thank you. And I now invite you to take a moment, maybe with your hands over your heart, and turn to someone in this acknowledgement of oneness and say, thank you for being a reflection of me. Such a beautiful prism of reflection today. And we have an amazing vision and purpose here, so I invite you to repeat after me. We are an inclusive community, committed to global transformation through personal evolution. And our purpose, we can do this one together. Are y'all ready? Wake up, step up, and make a difference. That's right. And today's affirmation, I will read it, and then we can affirm together. I am fired up and ready to live life fully. I am fired up and ready to live life fully. That's right. All right. So let us take a breath now. And as we move into our centering, let us first presence our land acknowledgement. If you can give us a thanks. In the warm embrace of this sacred land, our hearts overflow with deep love and gratitude to this land's ancestral guardians, the Yochi, Osage, Cherokee, Shawnee, Hopewell, and Adena nations. By acknowledging their stories, we celebrate the strength,
adaptability and unique contributions of each community to the vibrant mosaic of our shared heritage. We humbly acknowledge the historical wounds and traumas that have touched and continue to touch the lives of Indigenous communities. In this present moment, our commitment springs from a well of love, respect, and the unwavering recognition of the inherent sovereignty of Indigenous peoples. We pledge to be attentive listeners, amplifiers of Indigenous voices, and perpetual learners about the rich diversity of Indigenous cultures and histories and contemporary challenges. So let us now take that deep breath as we move into our centering song and our opening prayer, which will be led this morning by practitioner Nancy Eisen.
I am remembering who I am. 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 I am remembering who I am.
My beloveds, it is time to remember who we are. Created by Source, by God, by infinite intelligence, by Spirit, whatever name you use. With all those qualities, all those attributes, all the love, the peace, the joy, the wisdom, the beauty, the kindness, the heart. That is what created us. That is what wanted to share itself, and we were born. All that God is, we are. God is, I am. As God is, we are. And we come together on Sunday morning to remember that, to share that truth with each other, to look each other in the eyes and say, hello, God, good morning. Knowing that we are so blessed. We are. Think how blessed we are to know that truth. We are blessed to have this center, Ahava. We are blessed by our minister, Reverend Rainbow, and our guest speaker today, Reverend Chris. We are blessed by the music. The music. Truly, we are blessed. And I simply let it be by saying, and so it is.
And so it is. I am remembering who I am. 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 I am remembering who
Grand Rising, friends. My name is Corbell, she, her pronouns, and we have a wonderful reading this morning from Tricia Hersey's Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto. I know, right? I want us to understand that nuance is freeing and freedom. There is no such thing as cookie-cutter healing. Everyone brings with them an origin story, a history, and identities that are interconnected. There is room to rest in the freedom of managing your own deprogramming journey. It is never either or, and always both and. That was spirit, right. Confirmation. So let me read that again. Exclamation point. It is never either or, and always both and. You don't have to grind, hustle, accept burnout as normal. Accept burnout as normal and be in a constant state of exhaustion and sleep deprivation. You don't have to kill yourself spiritually or physically to live a fruitful life. This connection work is about restoring, remembering, reimagining, reclaiming, repreparations, and redemption. Learning to make a way out of no way and seeing to the other side of trauma. It is believing you are worthy of rest because you are alive. Our bodies and souls want to be well, to heal, to be rested, and to be free from the hold productivity has over our lives. We are worthy now of rest, care, and space. We are worthy now of living in a place that respects our bodies for what they are, a divine dwelling. Mm-hmm. So it is.
That's all it is.
She's just a girl and she's on fire, hotter than a fantasy, lonely like a highway. She's living in a world and it's on fire, filled with catastrophe, but she knows she can fly away. She got both feet on the ground and she's burning it down. She got her head in the clouds and she's not backing down. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. Looks like a girl, but she's a flame, so bright she can burn your eyes. Better look the other way. You can try, but you'll never forget her name. She's on top of the world, hottest of the hottest girls. Oh, we got our feet on the ground and we're burning it down. Oh, got our head in the clouds and we're not coming down. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. Everybody says that she gon' spy, 'cause I see the flame that's in her eyes. Watch her when she's lighting up the night. Nobody knows that she's a lonely girl, and it's a lonely world. But she gon' let it burn, baby, burn, baby. This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. She's just a girl and she's on fire.
Yes, thank you, Miss Tina. Thank you, Seneca. Thank you, Belle, all of our amazing musicians. Thank you, thank you. So I'm so pleased now to tell you a little bit about our guest speaker today, my friend, Reverend Chris Alexander. Reverend Chris is a meta-minister of Soul Evolution Collaborative. Also, the Global Themes Coordinator for Centers for Spiritual Living. So all these wonderful themes we've been doing, she's been helping to coordinate that for us. And Reverend Chris is the Curriculum Development Specialist for Circles USA. She is a visionary catalyst, pioneering the path of possibility and social transformation through universal principles. As a spiritual alchemist, I love that. Anyone else? I like that. A spiritual alchemist and global change agent, she unapologetically embraces her role of truth teller. Oh, we could use some more of those in today's world, right? Because what I know about Rev Chris is she is not afraid to say the thing that needs to be said, right? In order to create that catalyst of change. And she says it with heart and with love. Most of the time. Reverend Chris is dedicated to exploring the intricate intersection between the mystical and the mundane, together with the sacred and the profane. With a remarkable ability to hold paradoxes and perceive life from multiple perspectives, she champions the power of honest, love-infused communities. We had the opportunity yesterday to be with Reverend Chris as well for her workshop, The Third Way, and we did an exercise where we looked at the third way, if the dichotomy was human and the other being divine, how do we embrace that third way? So what I know also about Reverend Chris is her unwavering commitment to authenticity forms her foundation for building genuine connections, creating an environment where truth and wholeness can thrive. Reverend Chris, you can find out more about her and all of her happenings, as well as she has a lot of resources on her website. So make sure to check out and explore her body of work on the website revchris.org. So without any further ado, please give a warm Ahavian welcome. Welcome back to Reverend Chris. Other days, it's just like, what is happening? The technology, And we talk about, Reverend Chris and I are both very we're flexible, we're chill, usually we can go with the flow, we can adapt, and sometimes Spirit gives us many opportunities to do that.
To practice practice our flexibility. Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay. I'm not as wiggly as you are.
I don't know about that.
All right, so my apologies for having my laptop up. I promise that I am not scrolling Facebook. All right, y'all. But I really want to be able to do the message that I had planned because I like it. I think it's good. And the main reason that I wanted my laptop and I wasn't going to just wing it is because this is going to be a what are y'all called? Audience participation. Woo, buddy. All right. Whew, we're going to reset. Tina, you have me all messed up with that song. So this month we're talking about holy boldness, right? So I looked up these words. I love a good definition. So holy, on top of all of the normal things that we think about, like relating to a deity and all of that, the Oxford Languages Dictionary says it is morally and spiritually excellent. And to me, there's a lot of wiggle room in that. Like if I were to tell you what I think would be morally and spiritually excellent, chances are you would say something different, right? Those are very subjective sort of things, within a reasonable way. And so that's interesting to me to think about, that it's subjective. It's all subjective. And then boldness is willingness to take risks, act innovatively with confidence and courage. So I was just kind of mulling that around in my head, and then I started thinking about today's topic, which is fired up for life. And yeah, how many people here, because I'm fired up for life. Like, I'm excited to be here, like, most of the time. I'm pretty happy to have this body and, like, be doing things in the world. Is anybody here fired up for life 100% of the time? Okay, I thought maybe it was just me. Right? Like, it's not an always sort of thing. And especially I'm listening to this song, this girl is on fire, and then it's talking about how underneath she's lonely, and she's sort of having this inner and outer experience that's very different. What we're seeing is not necessarily what she's experiencing. And I think for myself that to be fired up for life, as much as possible, I want what's inside of me to be able to authentically come out and have it be this sort of fired up for life, for being human, for, being in community, be the authentic thing that I'm feeling. And of course, there's always going to be banana slug moments and times. But in general, I started thinking about what can we do to help ourselves be more fired up more often, more of the time. Because to me, being fired up, generally when we think about that, it's something that just kind of happens to you. Like that got me all fired up, right? But actually, fired up is something that we can cultivate. Much like a fire, we can grow that fired up experience in ourselves. We can become more fired up for life by being intentional in our actions, our behaviors, our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, all of the things that make us us. So, fired up, I also looked that up, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, is energetic, determined, and full of strong feeling. And then it says, usually excitement or anger, but just strong feeling. So I can be fired up and happy. I can be fired up and in grief. I can be fired up and angry or excited or in love or experiencing life. That to me is what fired up is. So, we have a good old acronym, y'all. And with everyone, like I said, this is audience participation. So with every one, I have a question for y'all. And y'all are, if you're online, I invite you to type your answer into the chat. And if you are here in the room, I'm going to invite you to shout your answer out. We want to hear it. And I will repeat answers that are shouted to me so that that way people online can hear what the folks in the room are saying. All right? So, fired. F is for faith. And I want to shift this idea of faith just a little bit. We generally think that we have to have faith in something, right? You have faith in God or faith in yourself or faith in your community or your family or whatever it may be. And often what Ernest Holmes says, our founder here in Science of Mind, he says that fear is simply a misuse of faith. Yes, and I want to switch it to say, I invite you not to have faith in something, but to have the faith of God. Right? So what would it feel like to approach life with the faith of God? If you truly got that you are God having this experience as you, how would you show up to life? That's not the question. Hold on. That one's rhetorical. But think about it. How would I show up to life if I truly had the faith of God in every moment, in everything that happens, in everything that I do? And then, this is the question I would like y'all to answer out loud. I want you to think about, what do you have faith in right now? So let's just say you have the faith of God. What do you have faith in as God having faith? Does that make sense? So what do you have faith in? Self, my husband, their husband, not my husband, her husband. Divine timing. That one. Life. Faith that it won't always be like this, that it gets better. Yeah. Faith in our essence. Faith of God in God. Yeah. What else? Say it again. Your breath. Ooh. Well, faith in coffee. I put a lot of faith in coffee to fix my entire life every morning. Yeah. Yeah. Peggy, no, go. It's you. Faith in nature. Yeah, so many of these I resonate with. The trees especially. Yeah. That the sun will rise. I have faith that when I wake up and go to get out of bed, that my body's going to work and I'm going to be able to stand up and get out of bed. And that, to me, I started thinking about that one in particular, and I was like, we do have this sort of general faith that our body's going to work the way that we expect it to work, whether that's with legs that walk around or not, or any other things. But sometimes that doesn't happen, right? Sometimes we wake up and our body doesn't do what we think it should be doing, right? And then what do we do with that? I don't have any answers. I'm just mulling along with y'all. How does our faith of God respond when something goes a little off the rails? When that faith all of a sudden is questioned just a little bit? Those are my thoughts. So faith, to me, is, if we're looking at this idea of being fired up, right? Being fired up for life. I think that having faith is important. And then we get to decide what we have faith in. We get to decide where we take the faith of God, because we are that divine expression individualized as us. So we have the faith of God. what do we then put that in? And then, is what you are putting your faith in supporting you in being fired up? And if it's not, maybe see if there's something else that's inviting you to have faith in it. I is for integrity. So, to me, much like the song, integrity is that my insides match my outsides. So what I say, what I do, the action that I take in the world aligns with my morals, my values, my ethics, my belief system, my purpose, what I'm here to do. And to me, to be out of integrity, I can tell when I'm out of integrity. It's really it's gross. It's really uncomfortable. And I don't know if any of y'all have that experience of, I'm just going to tell this little white lie because it's easier, and like, does it really matter? And then you're like, ugh, that was so gross and uncomfortable, right? Like, does anybody have that experience when you're like, well, do I have to be authentic like 24/7? Like, could I just be like a little inauthentic to get through this hard thing? And then you're like, oh no, that's worse. That's worse than just being authentic and having it be hard, right? And so the more that our insides can match our outsides, the more fired up for life we can be. And in order for our insides and our outsides to match up, we have to know what our insides are. And we have to have some self-awareness there. And I don't know that we always do, right? Like, I'm still discovering things about myself, little pockets of things that just sort of well up. Some of them are good. Some of them are like pockets of jelly beans. And some of them are like pockets of pus, right? Like, it's good and it's bad and it's all of those things. But either way, every time that happens, regardless of how uncomfortable it is, I get excited because the more that I know myself, the more I can be in integrity, the more that who I am in the world can align with who I actually am on the inside when nobody's around, when nobody's looking. So my question for you is, what does integrity feel like? Like in your body, when you're in integrity, how does it feel? Empowering, yeah. Oh, yeah. Aligned? Yes. Aligned. Peaceful? Secure? Yes. Yes, yes. Expansive, courageous, yeah. Smooth, yeah. Like, can just kind of move through life, yeah. Ease, yeah. Powerful, yeah. Whew. Exhausting, yeah. It can feel really exhausting, especially if our lives, our external lives, are not in alignment with who we are or what would really work for us. And then all of a sudden, in order for us to be in integrity, to show up into our lives in a way that matches our inside and our outside, all of a sudden we have to decide whether we're going to go against the grain in our current life or if we're going to, work to completely overhaul our whole life to be in alignment. And then how do we do that? And when do we do that? And what does that going to look like? And oh my God, what's next if it's not this? And yeah. It could be exhausting real quick. I feel that. Anything else? What does being in integrity feel like to you? Say that again. It can be confusing. Yeah, that's another one, because what in the world am I actually thinking, feeling, believing in this moment, right? And oftentimes, because our bodies give us so much really fantastic information that we aren't necessarily taught in our society to listen to, oftentimes our bodies will be the first one to tell us something is amiss But then are we going to listen to it? If we listen to it, what is that going to mean? Why is my body telling me this when I thought everything was fine and dandy? I have that one a lot. Right? Yeah. All right. Are y'all ready? Corbell is ready. She is like on the edge of her seat. All right, so the R is for responsibility. And I do not mean responsibility like we were taught in elementary school. I mean the ability to respond, right? So often we move through our lives reacting to, stay there for just a minute. That one's great. Reacting to what's happening around us, right? And we tend to think, and y'all know that this is a thing that we're trying to overcome, for lack of a better word, this reaction to life. Life is happening to me, and then I have to react to it as the victim. And instead, what we're moving to is a responding. And to me, response takes breath. Going back to that F of faith, response takes breath. Because what it requires of me is to slow down, to stop, to say, most of the time, no one's going to die. So I can take a breath and I can decide what I want to do in this moment as a result of what is happening around me, right? That's really hard work, y'all, like really hard. So, reaction. Do y'all know what the difference between reaction and creation is? It's how you see it. So, you can go to the next one. There we go. So, it was worth the wait. It's all about how you see it. In order to get from reaction to creation, you just have to move that one little C. You just have to look at things differently. You just have to shift your perspective. That's it. Just, shift your perspective, look at things differently, do everything differently than you've ever done before. No big deal. Super simple, right? Yeah. So, what percentage of the time do you feel like you respond rather than react? So how often in your life are you responding versus reacting? Not enough. I would say, let's see, for myself, maybe like a 60-40 split, depending on the day, which one's 60 and which one's 40. What about y'all? What percentage of the time do you feel like you're responding to the world rather than reacting? 70%, Tina. That's awesome. Yes, ma'am. She did. I know. Everybody's like, let me respond to this question. Yes. It does depend day to day, right? Like, some days I'm on it. It's like 97% response. And then the next day it's like 7% response. Anyone else want to answer? 6.34 for my lovely spouse in the back. Is that on a scale of 1 to 10 or out of 100? That is a percentage. It's hard. It is hard work. It is something that we are not going to master. Even, you could say, my number one goal in life for the rest of my life is to respond to everything instead of react. And you would get to the end of your life and you would still not have 100. That's just the reality of it, because life is hard sometimes. And sometimes we're going to react to it. E is for evolution. So, I believe that in order to be consistently fired up for life, that we have to be willing to continue to grow every single day. And that willingness to grow, that's hard as well, because growth requires discomfort. And discomfort requires stepping outside of your comfort zone. And so in order to be in a consistent state of evolution and of growth, you have to take a half a step. You have to basically live a half a step outside of your comfort zone. Not 50 steps, right? Not even a whole step, just half a step outside of your comfort zone. And what's really beautiful about that is that when you step half a step outside of your comfort zone, eventually, sometimes quicker, sometimes slower, your comfort zone expands to meet you. And all of a sudden you realize that even though you're standing in the same place, you're in your comfort zone again. All of a sudden, this is easy and comfortable, and then you go, oh, okay. And you step a half a step, right? Further outside of your comfort zone. And then eventually that becomes your comfort zone. And you step a half a step outside of your comfort zone. And your comfort zone, it expands, but it also moves along with you, right? Have you ever had the experience where you go back to something that used to be very comfortable to you 5 years ago? Like going home for the first time after you've been at college for a year, or, maybe it's just holiday dinners. Every year you go visit your family for Thanksgiving, and you're like, oof, this is family, right? And then start to think about that you lived with those people. You grew up in that. That was your comfort zone. Look how far you've come. And so what's really beautiful is when you have those types of experiences, take that opportunity to pat yourself on the back, to congratulate yourself for how far you've come. This is no longer comfortable to me. I no longer accept this because now I'm in integrity. My insides match my outsides. I know what my values are. I'm living my life in a way that works for me. Yes, yes. So the other problem, the other challenge of constant states of evolution and growth is that it requires you to be wrong a lot. And nobody likes to be wrong. We are taught that being wrong is the worst thing that you can be. But it's not true. Actually, being wrong is the best thing you can be because it means that you are growing and evolving and learning something new. I should say, knowing that you are wrong, right? Having the self-awareness that when somebody comes to you and says, hey, Reverend Chris, you did that thing and it was really activating to me. And I don't know if you realize this, but when you said that, it could mean this. And I go, I never thought about it that way. Oh my God, you're right. I'm going to work on that. There is so much power in being able to be wrong graciously, lovingly. And if you choose to grow and evolve and be fired up for life, you get to be wrong all the time. Yes, it's okay. We'll do it together. We'll just all be wrong together. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with being uncomfortable? I would say I'm at like an 8. 8? Okay, yeah, lots of 8s. 6.5. 7. I'm hearing some 7s. 5, yep. 4. And if you notice, there's no judgment. Maybe you're judging yourself. I invite you not to do that. There is no judgment in the answer that you give. The reason that I'm asking you these questions is to invite self-awareness, to invite you to see where you're at. We're just taking a little temperature. We're just gauging how we're showing up in this life. And then, if you want, you don't have to. You can leave and you can go over to Chipotle and that can be the end of it. But if you want, you can assess, I said I was a 1 for being comfortable with discomfort. Is that working for me? Maybe it is. Or, are there things that I would like to do that would be a little more uncomfortable that maybe I'd like to practice being uncomfortable in a safe way? There is nothing wrong with any answer that you give in your head or out loud or on the computer. It's not right or wrong. You cannot fail this quiz. It's just simply taking an assessment of where you're at, and then you can decide what you want to do with the information. Which kind of leads us to D, which is for discovery. So another aspect of growth and evolution is discovery, being willing to just learn new things. We got to go to Reverend Rainbow's beautiful home yesterday, and when you walk in her house, there is a giant stack of books on her to-be-read list. And what that tells me is that discovery is important to Reverend Rainbow, right? That she is in this constant state of learning, and that learning informs that evolution, right? They all kind of go together hand in hand. And I know for myself that I am more fired up for life when I am excited about what I am learning in the world, what I am discovering. I think I told y'all the last time I was here, I love TikTok. But I think the number one reason that I love TikTok is because so many people are on there teaching me things that I never even knew was a thing, let alone about the thing, right? There's one girl I follow on there. She's talking about, I don't know, planets and other galaxies that are doing cool things and how we're utilizing that technology here. What? I didn't know we were doing any of that. Discovery. And what it is curiosity is our number one spiritual superpower. I'm going to stand by that until I don't anymore, until somebody tells me I'm wrong, and I agree with them. Curiosity is our number one spiritual superpower because it shows up not just in learning, not just in reading, not just in growing, but it shows up when something happens, when my spouse and I get into a disagreement. It shows up as, instead of reacting, going back to that response versus react, I can say, wow, can you tell me more about that? I'm really confused right now. I'm really curious. That wasn't my experience of what happened here. So I'm really curious as to how you got to where you are, and I'd love to share with you how I got to where I am. And actually, I'm going to be curious, how did I get to where I am? Where did the misunderstanding occur? And then how do we come back together, right? So curiosity goes beyond just learning and growing our minds. It goes into our relationships, into the way that we show up with one another. Because what I know is that y'all are a little mini beloved community here, right? And what I know is that community comes with conflicts and disagreements and misunderstandings and messiness. And so the more that you can be willing to show up with curiosity, the more that you can just lean into, you know what, that person probably has a valid reason for what's happening here, so I'm going to ask them to tell me more. The more that this community coheses and becomes even more and more and more. So, what is the last thing you learned? What is the last thing you learned? You can tell like a topic that you learned about. You can tell a random fact you learned. What is the last thing you learned? That ant eggs are little tiny white balls. Did Cadence teach you that?
I picked up a paper and saw them all.
Oh, that's those are ant eggs. Then they turn into little white squiggly larvae. That's fun. We got to watch, actually, speaking of bugs, we got to watch a squash bug lay eggs on a squash leaf. It was very cool. And then not so cool because it was our squash leaf in our garden. What else? What's the last thing you learned? That convicted felons can still run for president. You know, that was a really surprising fact for me too. I am not going to comment on that, but that was something that I did not know, and now I do. It is. What else? That you can do hard things. Yes, ma'am, you can do hard things. And isn't it true that when you learn that and learn it, because I don't know about you, but I've had to learn it so many times, that it becomes easier to step outside of our comfort zone, because then we can say, I can do this hard thing. I can do this hard thing. Oh, I don't want to, but I can do this hard thing. I do a lot of complaining before I do hard things. Really works for me. All right, the U, we're almost through, y'all. I know, we're almost through. The U is for unshakable. Unshakable. All right, if you are online and you have a child in the room, cover their ears, because I'm going to use a bad word. I don't see any children in here. Oh, there is a child. There are children in here. Never mind. I like to call this being unfuckwithable. What is your foundation? What is your life based on? Do you have a strong foundation? Do you feel like when life happens, when life comes at you, your initial reaction is to react? Maybe you do react at first, and then you take a step back and you go, okay, actually I'm going to respond to this. You know, now that I've reacted, now I'm going to respond, right? Whatever it may be, is your foundation solid enough to hold you and whatever that thing is all at the same time? Just a question. And if it's not, why not? And is that working for you? That's always the question. Is this working for me? And if it is, fantastic. Enjoy your sandy foundation. And if it's not, what can you do to shore up that foundation? What can you do? How can you get some concrete under there with you? So my first Science of Mind teacher, Reverend Barbara Waterhouse, she used to say, principle cannot be sacrificed even on special occasions. And what she meant was when life goes to, you know, where in a handbasket, we don't get the luxury of throwing our beliefs, our principles, our idea of oneness away just because it got hard. We don't get to sacrifice our principles just because it got harder to see them in our worlds. Instead, we get to lean in, like bury ourselves into that foundation. Maybe we realize that our foundation is built out of sand because something happens and that doesn't work, and we're like, okay, well, I got a foundation built out of sand, so I'm just gonna like dig out a hole and get in it because we're still here. It's still my foundation, right? So, what do you feel like your foundation is built on right now? Trust. Ooh, I love that. Trust. Sand. Say that again. Tots and pears. Tots and prayers. A play on thoughts and prayers. Tots and prayers. I need that on a t-shirt. That's amazing. I love that so much. Go ahead, Peggy. Oh. Go ahead, Patty. I know your name. Good Lord. Patty, darling. Patty C. Justice. Ooh, there was a whole across the room. Yeah, justice. Anyone else? What's your foundation built on? So funny. When I was like, I'm going to ask this question, I really thought people would be like, stone, concrete, sand, wood. That's a good one. Cinder blocks, because there's a little hole you can trip on in the middle, but mostly it's strong. I'm going to go with cinder blocks for me too. Go ahead. Truth. Yes. Yeah. All right, P. We've almost made it, y'all. I know. I've gotten long-winded, but the P is for purpose. What is your purpose in life? Are you ready? I'm going to tell you. I know Reverend Rainbow tells you all the time too, so I'm going to tell you, just in case you didn't believe her. You have no purpose. Your purpose is to be alive. Congratulations. You have fully lived into your purpose. Well done. It's already done. You've done it. So now you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You have no... Your purpose is... Congratulations. You have done it. Your purpose is to be yourself. You've done it. You are yourself. Yes. Our purpose, if you listened to my talk the last time, you know that the reading was on purpose, and it was from a Psalm for the Wild Built. Still highly recommend it, right? And what Mosscap the robot says is that we have no purpose other than to be alive. We have separated ourselves from nature, like we're something other than nature, but actually the reality is that we are nature. Nature's purpose is to nature, and therefore our purpose is to nature. It's just to be alive. There's no other purpose. And so you've done it. You can set goals, you can have dreams, you can have ambitions, you can write a purpose statement, you can have a vision and a mission and all of the things. You can decide you're going to do things in the world. Those are all great. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you've already done it. You are alive. You are breathing. So, with all of that, it was way longer than 20 minutes. My love. Ryan always says, don't talk for more than 20 minutes. I invite everybody into prayer. And so what I know is that there is only that one infinite, absolute, eternal presence going on, that one thing that is each and every one of us. That thing that when we look out at the galaxies and the star systems and the nebulas and the universe and the multiverse, the things beyond the things that we can't see, all we find is more and more and more of that divinity, more and more of that holiness. And when we take a breath and go within to the very building blocks of ourselves, of our bodies, of this planet, what we find is more and more and more God. That is the very essence of what this universe is made of. It is atoms and quarks and cells and systems and protons and neutrons and electrons. It's the only thing that's going on. And so knowing this to be true, I know that each and every one of us here is that God stuff. That we were built out of the same thing, the very essence of this universe. And that each and every one of us, as a result, is fired up for life. That each and every one of us is living on purpose because we are alive. And that when we move on, we'll be on purpose doing whatever that thing is. That we are fired up for life, that we are living our fullest human life in this body, in this time, with these people, in this community. And that each and every one of us are settled into our faith, our integrity, our responsibility, our evolution, our discovery, our unshakability, and our purpose. And I am so grateful for this beloved community and for all of the good work that is being done in the world. I am grateful for this amazing group of fired up human beings. And so I simply release my word. I let it go. I know it is done as I have spoken. And so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
Woo, beautiful. Yes, so we are now going to move into our time of conscious giving. And as our core council members pass the basket in the room, there's also several ways that you can give online. You can text the word give to 859-209-6996, and you can go to our website as well, and there's a give button there. So let us now affirm and bless our abundance together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 grateful.
We have a number of exciting things coming up. We have, thank you. June 16th is Sunday already? Wow. All right. So next Sunday, please plan to stay after service at 1 o'clock for an in-depth introduction to cacao and the benefits of integrating it into your life. So a fabulous something new, if you want to discover, perhaps it's new to you. Our community member, Clayton Hart, will be leading that next Sunday. And then the last Sunday of the month, it's actually 5 at this time, June 30th is going to be our Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon. All are welcome, and we will be announcing our Volunteer of the Year. So make sure that you vote. We have a place for you to vote out there and also online. Our next class coming up is visioning. And this is an amazing spiritual practice to listen to that guidance of spirit
and to see what is calling you in this moment to be, do, and become. And to tell you a little bit about her experience in classes, I've asked Amy to come on up and do a testimonial about her experiences.
Grand Rising Ahava. My name is Amy, she, her pronouns. First, I want to say thank you to Reverend Rainbow for offering the workshops and classes. It has been very transformative, and I'm extremely grateful for you sharing your light with me. It is here that I've learned the spiritual tools that I can use to realign my thinking and the truth of who I really am. I'm incredibly grateful for this welcoming and beautiful community. It is because of your generous support to Ahava's Scholarship Fund that I have had this opportunity, not only to change the trajectory of my life, my family's life, but also of the collective. So thank you. Just a little background info about me. Prior to finding Ahava, I was alive, but I could barely call that living. For a number of years, I was on this self-guided path searching for the truth. And a lot of times it felt like I was carving this path through the thick jungle with my machete, and all of the nature was just growing and against me. I was listening to a lot of lectures by Louise Hay, Dr. Dwayne Dwyer, Eckhart Tolle, learning quantum physics with Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, but still something was missing. I believed what I was hearing, but I couldn't figure out how to make it true for me. I didn't understand how to put this knowledge into practice. I would try affirmations and meditation, but still was battling my own self-sabotage and bouts of depression. Years of bad programming and self-doubt had to be overcome. It was an uphill journey, constantly reliving the trauma and drama of my past. My self-worth was pretty much depleted because I was so disconnected from the world, from God, and mostly from myself. Then one day, while on a long drive, listening to Louise Hay, like I had so many other days, it hit me. Her teachings were based on what she had learned through the science of mind. And it clicked. And I had heard her mention it so many times before, but that day it finally registered, and thus began my search. And it was this search that led me here to Ahava. I'll admit, I struggled coming in these doors at first. I was feeling quite overwhelmed, but I knew this is where I needed to be. It wasn't like other churches I had been to up until then, the ones that tell us we need to be cleansed of our sinful nature, and that at the end of our human experience we wanted to enter the gates of heaven. It's where we learn that heaven is a choice and we can experience it here and now. So I kept coming. I knew that deep down this was where I needed to be. I had a full circle moment that day that I heard Reverend Rainbow mention the Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life class. I was immediately taken back to that day listening to Louise in my car. It felt like a little nudge from her telling me it's time to get to work. I needed to learn how to break free of my conditioning, negative thought patterns, and self-sabotaging ways. So I joined the class, and it was here I learned about the spiritual principles and universal laws. And while now I know I will never fully heal, I know I'm on an ever-unfolding journey of self-discovery, and I'm now working with affirmative prayer to work to connect more deeply with myself and the world around me. I've learned tools to help me cultivate a mindset that embraces positivity, mindfulness, and a deeper sense of purpose. I have experienced firsthand how these teachings can illuminate one's path, fostering a sense of peace, empowerment, and spiritual growth. It is because of this I encourage everyone to consider donating to Ahava's Scholarship Fund. It was because of this fund that I was able to go to this class, because when I came in, like I said, I was broken and broke. So, if you can donate in addition to your regular conscious contribution, it can make a significant difference in someone's life, enabling them to embark on a journey of self-discovery, spiritual awakening, and by supporting this cause, you are helping spread the light of understanding, as we know it ripples out throughout the collective. So thank you.
I'm feeling emotional because that's what I'm here for. Oh, making a difference, right? Wake up, step up, make a difference. And so many people do find this because we are in that place of feeling broken and often broke at the same time. And we do not want this teaching to be limited, by a lack of funds. So, yes. If you are considering taking the class, they are transformational. That's all I have to say. And if money has been an obstacle, please talk to us, and a way will be made through the generosity of so many in this community. Thank you, thank you. All right, so we're going to do things a little different, and when the kids are going to come in shortly, they're going to stay for the benediction and then dance out for the song. So I just want to remind you that the practitioners are available for prayer. We will have Nancy over here. You can also fill out in the prayer box or online. So now let us go ahead and welcome our youth.
You're a shining star, wonderful, just the way you are. We celebrate your sacred face. We love you just the way you are. We love you just the way you are. We do.
So I'm just going to take this opportunity while they're getting settled, just to remind everyone there's been an intention on the 21st of this month to have a youth and family camp out. I know there's multiple families that are unavailable, so I'm going to be reaching out directly to some people, Bernadette and April, and I know Tatiana can't add them. Tomorrow, Coral, I'll reach out and see if we have enough people for that to continue. So 21st of this month on Nancy and Ron's property. I need to know by tomorrow night so we can solidify everything if that's going to happen.
Thank you. We will not be available. I know. We're going to be out of town. So, what was our affirmation today, guys?
I am the treasure at the end of the rainbow.
All right. And then we're going to treasures. Okay, so who wants to share? Do you want to share? All right.
My brother is my treasure. My dog is my treasure and my family. My cat, my stuffies, and my mom are my treasures.
Love is mine.
Love is mine.
I guess mine, I got a couple. My family, writing, singing, and food.
Do you want to share? Remy, do you want to turn? Okay, I would also just like to congratulate Nasima on her graduation. She's officially a high schooler. And if you go to our Ahava group page, I have posted something, or Facebook page. I posted something about Nasima, and she gave a really amazing like speech at her graduation, and just I don't know, it's really cool. She's really awesome. It's been amazing watching her grow up and celebrate her in the next part of her journey.
So today, Cadence is going to come on up and for our benediction. Remember you said you wanted to do it? Yes. Okay, so we're going to invite a youth to help us with our benediction now to close out service. So if you are willing and able to stand and repeat, it's right up here. Here we go.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
And life is in my affairs.
Life is in my affairs.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I am it.
I am it.
And I share it.
And I share it.
Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not.
Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful